Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it will be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! I took a well underpaid job as a project manager almost 20 years ago. I was at a dead-end job and needed to build up my resume. The company was professional and so were my co-workers, except for the owner who I reported directly to, who was an ex-hockey jerk jock. Despite this and the pay, I actually enjoyed going to work and excelled at my job. Within the first half of the year, I got us out of probation. All new contracts held and became a preferred vendor along with building a great relationship with others leading to more contracts. This opened up a lot of opportunities and money for the company. I brought in so much business they had to open a second production shift to meet demand. To give an idea of how much of a jerk the owner was, he put in "We're here to kick butt" in our mission statement against concerns from pretty much everyone. Everything seemed to be going great until he decided to hire his girlfriend as the third PM. I gave a couple of my lowest clients and the other incompetent PM gave a significant portion of her accounts to his squeeze. Great, right? Until his girlfriend decided the PM role is too hard for her. She gets moved to a buyer role, and guess who got his clients and all the other accounts from the second PM back? Me. Well, I wasn't happy, but still kept on trucking handling all my original accounts, plus more. Suddenly, the owner decided to hire his ex-jock buddy from another province to oversee the PM department. He also set up the new office where this new guy would literally be hovering over me. What's worse is this guy's almost illiterate. This is a highly technical role and this guy could barely write a coherent sentence. I tried to bring him up to speed, but a narcissistic jock is going to be a jock. How can someone under him teach him when he is above me? We're pretty self-running and this guy could have just coasted through the job collecting, I'm sure, a great pay. Whatever, I kinda gave up and was pretty pissed at this point. I wasn't trying to hide it, and everyone in the office could see it. Being the jerk, the owner calls me into the office to set me straight and flex his authority, and tells me that if I'm not happy, I can leave. At this point, I built up my resume and had plenty of glowing references from my peers and clients. I found a job within 2 weeks and gave my notice of 2 weeks as professional courtesy. Well, on the first day of this job, someone was passing around Ferrero Rocher, and I just kinda left it on my desk. I eventually built this weird shrine around it. Everyone knew of this and would make fun of it. This thing sat for 1.5 years and at some point, I decided it'll be my sweet reward when I leave one day, even though there's probably worms growing in it by then. Anyway, I submitted the resignation on Wednesday and tried to bring all my accounts to Jock Buddy, especially our largest client, who has very particular needs, especially reportings. This guy is still in better than me mode and brushing everything off, not making one note. At this point, I don't even care, as long as I do my own due diligence in training him. I came in the next Monday and guess what? The thing is gone, and the wrapper is on my desk. I am pissed. But somebody comes right to me and asks everything okay with a stupid smirk to exert their dominance. I did a full wipe of my local drive, packed my stuff and told HR right now is my last day effective immediately. 2 days later, Jock Buddy had the nerve to call me on my cell and ask questions pertaining to my job. You can guess I told him to get screwed, and you can likely guess what happened to him shortly after. He screwed up all the accounts and got fired. Packed his bags and went home to his very mad wife. I was also told they were back to probation with the largest client, and owner Jock tried to hire 2 people to do my job, but couldn't figure it out and lost a ton of contracts. This happened in the middle of the coronavirus shopping madness, and before I do anything else, let's meet the cast of our wonderful misadventure. Karen, innocent kid, me, bystanders, 1, 2, and 3. Alright, now let's get into it. So a bit of backstory. I live in a decent-sized suburban area about 45 minutes north of Los Angeles, and this is not the first time I've run into an entitled parent. It's happened several times in the past. Scroll through my account to find my older stories of my other encounters. And it happened at the same store as the one who tried to take my rice. Older story from about 6 months ago. I was shopping for supplies because I thought it would be a good idea to get some toilet paper, canned goods, and other food and stuff while it's still on shelves. I saw pictures and videos of empty Walmart and Costco shelves. Now there is actually a limit to how many packs of toilet paper a single customer is allowed to buy at a time. At this store, the limit was 6 packs until today, when it went down to 4 per customer at a time. I picked up some canned fruit, canned beans, canned soup, canned chili, you name it. I grabbed it, because I didn't want to not be able to buy any of this because everyone else got it first. Now after I grabbed the canned goods, I picked up a few other things and headed to the toilet paper aisle. As soon as I put about 4 or 5 packs of toilet paper in my cart, there were about 12 left on the shelf when I was done. I heard a loud ahem. Screw this, I knew it. A wild Karen appeared behind me with her poor innocent kid, who looked to be about a year or two younger than me. I'm 16 for reference.
Excuse me?
Yes, how may I help? She had the audacity to cut me off. There were 3 other people in the aisle.
Can you give me your packs of toilet paper rolls?
Me really confused because there was still some on the shelf. Why? There is still some on the shelf. She cut me off again.
I know, but I don't want to reach up on a dirty shelf to get my toilet paper, and you already have enough stuff anyways. Why do you even need it?
Mom, can you please stop? I can just grab them. She cuts off her kid because apparently he wasn't supposed to intervene.
No, we will get our toilet paper from this young man.
She points at me.
And that's the end of it.
Just then, bystander 1 walked by and said, "If you even dare, I'll have security escort you out. Grab your own toilet paper, witch." Bystander 2 and 3 blocked the aisle in case she tried to run. And I forgot to mention earlier that these people recognize me because I always run into them across town and at the store occasionally. The entitled mother just huffs angrily and has her kid grab 6 packs of toilet paper. And then when he drops them accidentally, I offer to help him pick them up. And when I do, Karen makes her move. Apparently she wasn't listening to bystander 1 and tried to take my toilet paper and a few cans of food. Bystander 2 and 3 were still there blocking the aisle, and bystander 1 saw it happening. I heard a commotion behind me when the innocent kid and I are done picking up the toilet paper, and I see the entitled mother screaming at the bystanders, telling them to let her through because she has places to be and things to do. Who freaking cares? Bystander 1 calls for security and they drag the entitled mother out while she still has my supplies. They come back with my supplies, I pay, and then I leave. But not before thanking the bystanders who stood up for me when I was distracted and making sure the innocent kid was alright. Because when I got out of the store, he looked like he just got screamed at. Let's just say someone in the parking lot was fighting with Karen when I left. Finally, I had my own out-of-work here incident. I was shopping in my local Indian grocery store where I shop frequently when this little old white lady approached me. She wanted to know what kind of lentil is used for dal and where she could find it. I was a little confused at first but realized she thought I was an employee because of my ethnicity, Indian, and because I was wearing a blue bolo, not the store uniform of monogrammed red, plus they wear caps. I wasn't in a hurry, so I just walked her to the section and helped her pick it out. On the way, she was telling me about how her grandson married the vegetarian Indian girl and she wants to make a few Indian dishes for her when she visits. I helped her pick a couple of other ingredients like dry red chilies, jeera, cumin, and curry leaves. We are discussing other recipes, and I gave her ideas of simple side dishes: potato, cauliflower, French beans, etc. sabzi. Then she asked me if I could ring her out. There is no self-checkout. That's when I let her know that I don't work here. She was shocked and started apologizing and I waved it off. She went towards the register and I walked away to continue my shopping thinking that was it. After I finished my shopping, I found her waiting for me beyond the registers near the exit where she handed me $20 and wouldn't take no for an answer. She apologized again and then said that's why she wanted me to ring her out so that she could tip me. I gave her my number if she wanted ideas for Indian recipes. And then we said our goodbyes and left. This took place my freshman year of high school, pre-COVID in my history class. Our classroom consisted of columns of desks. The girl that sat in front of me was kind of my friend, but not really. Every class we got a break, and at every break she would turn around, take my water bottle off my desk and drink from it. She would put her mouth on the lip of the bottle. Knowing this bothered me. Funny to think how unsanitary and inappropriate this would be in these times. She would always pass it off as a joke, knowing I wouldn't drink from the bottle until it was washed. So I couldn't drink until I got home. Cue pity revenge. I emptied an obscene amount of neti pot salt packets into the bottled water. The next day, I took my reusable water bottle and the bottled salt water to class. Right before our normal break, I replaced my normal water bottle with a salt water bottle at the corner of my desk and waited. And waited. Break was ending and she hadn't grabbed the bottle. Well, right as our teacher began lecturing again, she quickly turned around and grabbed the water. I pretended to reach for it and she took a giant swig. Once she realized her cheeks were filled with water she didn't want to swallow. I started laughing, and she started to kinda laugh. Maybe a quarter of the salt water spilled out of her mouth and on her shirt. Now she had the teacher's attention, and he began to berate her, saying what's so funny, that's enough, take class seriously, and so on. She couldn't respond since she still had the salt water in her mouth, so she was forced to swallow the rest of it so as to not make things worse. I laughed so hard. She was mad but also had a bit of a laugh. My water never got stolen again. So this happened a while ago, just remembered it after reading some posts. I was broke and living in a homeless shelter when this happened. So I was in a homeless shelter, some guy pulls up and asks me and some other guy if we wanted to move his stuff from his house to his new apartment. Said he'd pay $25 for 1 or 1.5 hours of work. Pretty sweet deal and I needed the money. So obviously I said yes. The guy who went with me was in his 50s and I was in my early 20s. A small white kid. He kept making me look dumb and slow, doing everything faster than me and criticizing every little move. Even the guy who owned the stuff said he didn't know what he was on. I mean, this dude jogged down the stairs carrying some pictures to the U-Haul. Whatever, not gonna lose my cool cause some random dude is having a bad day. Realized later the reasoning behind it when he asked for $50 instead of $25 because he did my work for me. Go figure. Anyway, we are almost done just carrying the fridge down the stairs. It was already sketchy in itself, going downstairs with a fridge on a dolly. He was again trying to make it look like he did all the work, trying to push the dolly down the stairs by himself. Offered to help on the other side, but all he said was no, you're just going to mess it all up. Just hold the cord in the back. I could already see where this was going, but hell, what do I know? He gets about halfway down and the fridge fell off the dolly and hit the wall. He tried blaming me, saying that's why you should go on the other side to help. But I played the innocent part. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just listening to you, I had no idea. He knew I was playing dumb. But he just gave me a stare because he knew he was in the wrong. The owner of the house came down and asked what happened. I told him I just held the cord, and the other guy dropped the fridge. He knew what probably happened was the other guy giving me a hard time and everything. Made him pay $50 for the damages. Basically $25 since he still gave him $25 for the work. He also didn't give me a hard time after that. I think he learned his lesson. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.